Okay, well, I promised my viewers chaos, and I am delivering. Part two with God and Angel cut us off just as we were talking about vulnerability and characters. And I apologize for the interruption. And next week, I promise, I will have had words with the Zoom people. Right. So we've definitely covered our manifestation card.
Oh yeah.
And I think we've also covered this one a little bit, the paint the sun back into your sky, like this whole taking control of your destiny.
Yes.
Third one we have is justice is coming, which I love. And I kind of feel, I mean, what with the upcoming election and all of that sort of malarkey, and there are so many discussions, and you just talked about having a bisexual character in your books. As we all know, I am very fucking gay. Um, I thought for a long time I was bisexual and leaning towards guys, and then I started dating my girlfriend. I'm like, oh, I'm really fucking gay. How did I
Yeah.
not know?
I always say I know that sexuality is not a choice because I would not have chosen straight. Um,
Yeah. But you've written queer characters, and you've written them well. Um,
Thank you.
and you have a range of different backgrounds. You have characters of color and with different experiences in life. Um, got this.
I am half Asian, half white, half Korean. And so growing up, there was no representation for me. Um, because there were white characters or there were Asian characters. And being mixed is such a different experience that the people that I have related most to when it comes to like having the same experiences are other people who are also mixed, regardless of what the mix is.
Mhm.
One of my friends, who is half Filipino and half Black, decided to make like a little support group for us back in college. And it was just online. It was on Facebook, but we would share experiences. We'd talk about stuff, things that had happened to us, things that we'd felt. And the commonality that we all had, regardless of the background, regardless of socioeconomics, regardless of whether we were queer or straight or whatever, um, just the experience of growing up mixed and not having what we felt like was our own culture because you were always torn between two or more. And the way that other people would perceive us or treat us, um, it was something that I didn't. My God, my dog. It was it was
It's
something that
okay.
I
It's
didn't.
very faint in the
Sorry.
background. Plus, we love a dog.
Someone's at the door. But yeah, it was just something that I didn't get to see represented anywhere because it was always in media, it was always either or.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if it was a book or TV show or movie, I have this very vivid memory of wanting to be the Pink Ranger when I was playing with the neighborhood kids and being told that I had to be the Yellow Ranger because I couldn't be pink because I was Asian. I'm like, but I'm not Asian because the Asian kids won't talk to me. Because I didn't speak Korean. And also, like, I didn't speak Korean, so I didn't fit in with the other Korean kids. I didn't fit it, like I didn't fit in with the Chinese kids because it was the wrong kind of Asian. Like it's just like the list just went on and on. So in my head for a while, it was like, well, then I must be white if the Asian kids don't want to hang out with me. But then the white kids were like, no, you're not white, you're Asian. I'm like, this is just very confusing. So that was one of the things that when I started writing my own worlds and my own characters, one of the very first books I ever wrote, The Sassy Submissive, the heroine is half white, half Asian
I love that
because
book. It's so good.
thank you. Because that was I wanted to write a character who looked like me. And I wanted to write a character who had had my life experiences. And I cannot tell you how exciting it was. Something came out. I think it was All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Yes,
Where
Jenny
it was
Han. So
Yes,
good. Yes.
And it was the first I sobbed for no reason other like, within the first 5 minutes because it was the first time in my life, and I was, like, in my late 30s, I think, when it first came out, like,
Yeah.
that I had gotten to see a representation of me, um,
It's
which
it's
was
really
really
it's really powerful. I mean, obviously,
yeah.
I'm white as fuck, practically translucent.
Yes.
Um, but like not the same, but similar experiences with
Right.
queer representation, especially queer women.
Yes.
Um, and in the US, you guys had like the L word and stuff, and we didn't have that over here. And there was
True.
queer rep, but it was mainly guys,
Right.
guys. Um,
Oh, yeah, I mean, the L word was, like, revolutionary over here too, though, like, that was the first of at least it's
we
to
used to
my
bootleg it.
knowledge.
We used to
Yeah.
bootleg it and like watch it at ridiculous times in the morning whenever we could get it when I was at uni. And the latest series of Bridgerton came out. Spoilers
Mhm.
for you if you have A, not read the books, or B, not seen Bridgerton. Francesca is always like one of my favorite characters in the book.
Mhm.
And her story with Michael's really good. There's a whole infertility storyline, which I really liked. And of course, in the series, like we see her marry John, who in the books is
Right.
her true love, and then she ends up falling in love with his cousin Michael. And it
Yes.
gets to the end of the thing, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna meet Michael, we're gonna meet Michael. And they turn around, oh, and get my um, and introduce Michaela. And I screamed, I elbowed
Screamed.
my girlfriend in the chest,
Yes.
I burst into tears, and she was like, okay, we're gonna pause this for a second. What the fuck has happened? And I imagine in a similar experience, although I've seen queer rep before, so
Yeah.
it's not the same. That
But
overwhelming,
it's getting to see it in a like, I mean, that would be my ideal I want an Asian character on Bridgerton so bad.
I think we have Sophie.
That's what I'm hoping. I've heard some rumors. I don't know if I've heard any
No,
confirmation. They've
they've
confirmed.
announced yes, yes,
Okay.
she's Southeast Asian. I don't know her exact background. But
Okay.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's one of those things where I was like, "All right, I will take Indian. We're still it's Asian. It's Asian.
South
I take
Asian,
what
not
I can
Southeast,
get."
but yeah.
Right. I take what I can get. But it would be really cool, and I'd really like more Eastern Asians.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, no, I can't remember the actress's name. She's stunning. Um, they're-
I'll look it up after this
yeah,
because I
yeah.
mean, obviously I haven't been keeping up, with the latest Bridgerton news, but yeah, I mean, there's something about, not just getting to see yourself represented in media or on varied
Mm,
TV show or book, but getting to see yourself represented in a world that you love, that
yeah,
you weren't, and especially one that you weren't expecting to get that representation.
it just knocks you sideways. And
Yeah.
the first season had issues, especially with um, oh look, a white woman rapes a black man. That's not problematic in
Yeah.
the slightest. And I think it's worse in the TV series than in the books. In the books, she spur of the moment goes, "Oh no, no!" But in the TV series, she literally plans to, and I'm like,
I haven't read the books in a while, so I have
I
no
hadn't read them
idea.
in a
But
long time. They were some of the only romance novels you could get your hands on
right.
over here in the early 2000s that you could find in libraries or whatever, because our bookshops didn't stock romance. You could find Mills and Boon just about in certain stores, but all the big bookshops didn't stock romance. And when you ask them about it, they're like, "Oh no, no, we don't stock romance." So you would
We have a
type,
bit of that problem here, but it's gotten a lot better.
yes.
There's a
Well,
lot
now
more
Waterstones
yeah.
have sections or romance sections in their thing, whereas 3 years ago they didn't. Like that's huge, and also queer
Thank you, Book
romance.
Talk.
Thank you. Oh, people
Thank
slag
you.
off book talk, and I'm like, no, like
No.
we have more physical books now. The uptake of physical book sales have
Yes.
changed, and the only other point when in the last 100 or so years that where physical books have been this popular was the uptake after the Second World War, like the pandemic.
I firmly believe that Book Talk saved Barnes and Noble.
Oh God, yeah,
Like, I
that's
firmly believe.
and physical books. And now I know Barnes and Noble sometimes have special edition covers, but in the UK,
Hmm.
the way they do it is like Waterstones will bring out special edition covers, and you've got all these book boxes which are amazing,
Yep.
and it's
It's
just
fun.
it's so much fun.
It's a fun time to be a part of the book industry. I mean, I say that I've had fun every year that I've been a part of the book industry, which is now 13 years. But
I mean, I remember when I was first getting into self-publishing, which was, I mean, writing forever, but like actually publishing any of myself was probably 2020 to 2021. 2021.
nice. Yeah.
And I remember one of my friends going, oh, you have to read. Is it the Venus School? The
Yeah.
Venus
Oh,
Quartet?
gosh. Yes.
And I told her the other day, I was like, yeah, I'm doing a Court Golden. She's like, oh my God, are you serious? I'm like, yes. She's like, oh my God, that's wild. I was like, I know, so cool. I have friends. And to be fair, like we are working next year on a kind of a mini duet in the submissives of Rawhide. Well, so Rawhide Ranch. There's this world that Alyssa Hart runs. It's a ranch where basically people go to be kinky or like sort of find their true selves. And there are two series within it. There are the Littles of Rawhide and the Submissives of Rawhide. I've written one little and one submissive. Little as Ellie Rose and submissive as Annie Williams. But we are doing, basically, she turned around to us, well, to me, and goes, what do you want to write? And I was like, well, I know what I want to write next. I want to write a Who Cow. And she's like, oh, Golden wants to write a Who Cow. I was like, well, Golden has the Who Cow book. I will bow and like step out. And she was
God.
like, let me speak to Golden. And then we're like, no,
That's
let's do it
crazy.
together.
When I wrote that book, it was just like, I just need to get this out of my head. No one is ever going to read this. Like, Hugh Cow is just such an odd concept. I don't even know why I'm writing this. And you know what? I was right. I was right for years. Almost nobody read it. And then Book Talk happened. So again, thank you, Book Talk, because after the Minotaur milking farm,
Oh,
blew up, I was like, I literally, the video that I did after that was, oh, everyone's talking about the Minotaur milking farm. Does this mean I can talk about my Hugh Cow books? And it started like I was joking around, and then all of a sudden the sales started to rise. I was like, all right, well, let me make another video about my Hugh Cow book, and then it just like took off. And I still like, I'm like, oh, sales are dipping on my Hugh Cow book. Let me make a TikTok about it. Right back up again. But it's so funny. And it's so funny because like not it's under my other pen name, which is Sinister Ange, and that's what I'll be writing for the submissives with, because I'm trying to keep the Hugh Cow all under the same pen name. But it just blows my mind that it's become such a thing. And I mean, there was Hugh Cow erotica before me. There might have been a Hugh Cow romance. I don't know if I wrote the first one or not. The only stuff I ever found was erotica.
I never found anything that wasn't on Literotica.
Yeah, there's books on Amazon. That's how the Amazon algorithm sent me down the Hugh Cow rabbit hole. I don't remember exactly what the
Oh
path was.
wow. No, I got introduced via Literotica and also like real life kink circles. Like
Yeah.
so like when we've been talking about it, you're probably gonna take the milking verb. And I'm gonna do a Who Cow who doesn't get literally milked
Oh,
and do it
interesting.
from the pet play aspect of it, like an extension of pet play.
Yeah.
And I've also decided I might need to write a pony girl at some point as well.
Yeah.
That can be the year after.
Well, and that's the thing. Like when I wrote those books, part of the reason I wrote a 4-book series all about different very niche fetishes, which at the time they were very niche. It's not true for 2 of them anymore, and I bet I'm like, at this point, I'm like, who knows what's going to happen with the others? But my idea was like, I just want to write about these very niche fetishes, so I'm just going to write a 4-book series, different planet for each, set it in the future, different planet for each of these fetishes. I've got the Hugh Cow, I've got the age play, because at that point, daddy was a very niche fetish that
Yeah.
wasn't at all
Especially
mainstream.
in romance and publishing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That has changed drastically since I first wrote that book. And then I wrote the pet play and then the pony play. And all the while thinking these are just so niche, no one's ever, and then Daddy started blowing up and I was like, "Oh, I guess Daddy isn't super like niche and forbidden anymore." And now the Hugh and I'm just like, "What is my life?"
What is what is it? Oh God, so it's you, basically. You're the one, you create the things and push the trends. So we have you to thank
With
for
the
Daddy,
Hugh
basically,
cow
gone.
with the Hugh cow, I might have.
Yeah,
That's the thing
yeah,
is
you
like
absolutely
you
did.
don't normally like it feels a little big-headed and you don't normally get to look at something and go, "Oh, I did that." But I do. I look at it and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, I think I did that."
No, you absolutely did that because I was aware of it as from a kink or fetish perspective, and
Yeah.
had never found anything about it. And someone went, "Oh, oh, have you ever read?" And I was like, "No, I have not. Let me go read the thing." Thoroughly enjoyed it. Very good book. Would recommend. Um, and I think, well, what I really like about the Rawhide series is that you can
Mhm.
kind of be a bit silly, be a bit out
Yeah.
there, do things that are a bit different, but also it's quite soft to a certain extent. Like the characters, but it's not a dark romance
Happy
world.
place. Yeah,
Happy,
it's a
happy
happy
place.
place.
In Flogging Faith, there's a scene because Faith is an artist, and Bex is
Mhm.
this British dom who comes over swaggering around. I love Bex. Um, and they do this scene where Bex takes a branch and covers it in paint and
Okay.
flogs her with the branch and turns her back into art. She becomes the art. And
That's
she
so
calls
cute.
her Rainbow Girl the whole way through. Like it's so fucking cute.
Oh, I
And
love
then Bex
that.
and then Faith has it blown up and turned into a piece of art that they can put on the wall with the light shining through it by the end. It's like cute. But like it's those kind of, I love the fact that you can go, right, we're gonna do something a little bit out there, a little bit different.
Mm.
Like we
Well,
said
I
who
thought Allie
cow
was
to
gonna
Ali
turn
and
me
Ali was like,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought Allie was gonna turn me down. We were talking about the ranch, and I was like, "Look, I can't. I'm trying to keep Golden Angel wide. I don't really want this pen name to. I want as little to do it with KU with this pen name as possible. So the only thing I have for, I could write for the ranch as like Sinister Ange, but you don't really want dark, so it would have to be like fetish because that's what Sinister Ange writes. It's either dark or fetish.
Yeah.
And I was like, unless you want me to bring a Hugh cow to the ranch. And she's like, actually, I was like, wait, seriously?
Oh, I'd already hit. I need to write a hook out. I need to.
Yeah. And then she was like, yeah, actually, there's someone else who wants to do that too. I was like, what?
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun because
I'm
basically
excited.
our characters are sort of pen pals. Like they've met on an
Yeah.
internet forum, and you go to the ranch first, and I go off, and you have an amazing time. You go, you have to come here, and I'm like, hi.
It's so I've decided to. Mine is gonna like show up, and she's just gonna kind of assume that there's other Hugh cows there because it's a ranch and it talks about cows on the website and stuff. So she's gonna show up. She's gonna be like the only one, and all the DOMs are like, I don't actually have any experience with this, and one of them is gonna be like, be into this. It's like,
And what I really like about my character is she's really quiet, and she's been told for too long that cows are too weird. So she forces herself to be like a kitten, even though she really doesn't want to be a kitten. And then makes a mooing noise when someone flogs her. And there's this Dom who's like, you are for me. Come here. It's gonna be so fucking cute.
I
I'm
love
so
it.
excited for it. And it's nice because I kind of done it, even though I have two separate pen names that are both written into Rawhide, all the characters kind of exist in the same
Oh
universe. So I
yeah.
have two universes. I have my paranormal universe where magic, yeah, the veil has been ripped away that separates the gods from humans, and magic is leaking back into the world. And so I set it in various different places so I get to play with different pantheons and not have my ADHD brain get bored. So I can do 3 books over here and then 3 books over here and 3 in North Italy. And but then my contemporaries, all of them exist in the same universe. So Stuffy Hospital and Rawhide Ranch, and then this kink club. I've just written a short story called A Dyke for Christmas.
Ah,
So
I
cute.
love it.
I am in an anthology that comes out in November with Stella Moore, Leslie Isla, Eden Bradley,
Yes.
Amity
I've been
Malcolm, and Jamie Dabney, and the 6 of us have all written these like sapphic stories. It's been so, and I've been
I'm
editing, and
excited.
it's just like the most joyful thing ever. But yeah, so, and that's kinky as hell. But Riley and Wendy from that, appear in Flogging Faith, and in Faith's, which are both Ali books, and then Faith's best friend in Flogging Faith is Mandy, who is Mandy from Mandy's Little Mother's Day, who's Ellie book, and then her cousin is a star. It's like a massive web of
Yes.
connections.
That's my favorite way to write. That's my favorite way to write.
And it's sequel baiting. Every
Yeah.
single time you write something, like they're like, oh, what about this character? I'm like, well, they have their own book too, or their book is coming.
Yes.
The best way.
I know everyone's always like, "What do they have a book?" And 90% of the time I get to say yes. Sometimes I have characters that don't have a book yet, or that I'm like, I don't know if they're getting one, but
And it's fun when you do that. And yeah, so that leads really nicely into you have pen names. You have multiple pen names. Well, two?
two, technically three now. I do my newest Angel Gold has a story on Vella, on Kindle Vella, called Movies Gave Me Unrealistic Expectations About Vampires. And
Love it.
also, which honestly I should probably go ahead and put up on KU now.
Yes,
It's been on
please.
Bella for a while.
Please do the
And
thing.
then
Because
now that
us
I've kind of
Brits can't
started.
read Bella. We don't have
Yes.
access to Bella.
Oh,
So
that's right.
no.
Okay.
So bring or just send it to me. I'm fine with that. Continue.
I should get it up for sale just to
Yeah.
start get hers more than what I currently have on actual Amazon or book outlets, which is right now she's in an anthology.
Not your ordinary shifter.
Not Your Ordinary Shifter, which is all, not ordinary shifters. It's all there's like I think there's a goose shifter in here,
Yeah.
dolphin shifter. Mine, I have a stag and a honey badger hookup.
Oh. Shelley, I'm assuming
Um,
you've read Shelley Lawrenson's Honey Badger series.
I haven't. People keep recommending it to me, and I want to, but at the same time, I'm also like, ooh, but if I do, like, is that gonna because I have my own honey badger series that I want to
Yeah.
write, so I kind of
Yeah.
want to like
Write your
do my
series
thing
first, and then
first.
you can read it.
Right.
That makes
Do
sense.
my thing first, then read it. But
Very
because
good.
I have a whole so what I'm doing with Angel Gold is I currently have a series under Golden Angel that is not kinky. It's called the Big Bad Bunnies
Yes,
series,
yes, this
which is my
series, which I may
yes.
have flailed at you about when we were talking in prep. Oh, I love this series.
I love those books, but they don't do very well under Golden Angel, and I think part of it is that they're not kinky. They aren't quite at the same heat level. And they're paranormal, which I mean, I write a whole bunch of different stuff as Golden Angel, but it's just like it's a little too different. So it's
Yeah,
like, I would, and also, I mean, Big Bad Bunnies was funny to me, but that's not really
so
branding that helps sell books. So I'm rewriting them a little bit, especially the first book, which was really written as a novella to kind of just start things off, but I'd like to make it a little bit of a deeper story. Um, so I'm in the middle of rewriting the first book, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to take. Currently, they're all still up as Golden Angel books,
yes.
but once I'm done rewriting the first book, I'll be taking them down and re-releasing them. And the one of them does have a honey badger heroine, and I introduce her. It's an all-girl, all honey badger motorcycle gang.
Yes.
I
I mean,
would like to write a series for them.
I love that series. I think it was the first series of yours that I read because my friend was like, "Oh, read the Venus ones," and I was like, "I'm kind of erotica out at the moment." Had a look through
The
your
Venus
backwards and
School is
went,
all smut.
I was like,
So
oh, bunnies. I like bunnies. I like shifters. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see what you redo. And I got a sneak peek at what may be a future cover. So
Yeah, you got a sneak peek at the first cover, which I'm also very excited
really
about.
pretty. Because illustrated covers are the way forward at the moment. Like everyone's doing illustrated covers.
Yeah, well, yes and no. So here's the thing. I actually did it. It depends on the illustration, it
Yes.
depends on the genre, and it depends on who you are. Because, I think who was it? It was either Megan Quinn or Melanie Harlow, very big name author, tried to do illustrated cover for her new book. And the sales went badly enough that like within a week she had changed the cover back out and was like, okay, apparently this isn't what you guys want from me. Going to
Wow.
So I do think that the illustrated covers for paperbacks are worthwhile. For
Yes.
ebooks, however, if you're Lucy Score, you can put up
Whatever.
whatever and it'll sell. But also that's what she, Lucy writes a very specific genre that the kind of the small town, a little bit more of a cozy feel, a little bit more, there's a little bit of spice, but it's not like super, super spicy. Um, so I think that, it's really about setting expectations. And I had 2 covers made for my new bunny books just to like
Mm.
kind of cover test. One was the illustrated, one was the man chest. And when I ran Facebook ads just to test to see which would perform better, the cartoon cover did terribly. Like it did terribly, and the man chest cover outperformed it in every way. But I'm starting a new pen name, and I would like to start it the way I mean to go on. And so I'm like, you know what? Even if the first book doesn't like the cover, it's like, well, people don't pick up the first book because the cover, or more people would have picked up the man chest cover. That's still not what I want for this series. And so I'm starting the way I want it, I mean to go on,
I think
with the cartoon covers.
intentional
Yeah.
branding is really important with those things.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one. So I'm finding at the moment, because all right, paranormals, but I also write sapphic. I read a lot of gay ladies, and it's wild. In 2 years, it's gone from being like one woman on the cover, maybe two if you were lucky, to
Right.
almost all illustrated covers
Nice.
for specifically contemporary sapphics, all illustrated constantly. And the non-illustrated ones are kind of object covers. So I've got these two really
Yeah.
pretty babies at the moment. But people are picking up books because they're illustrated.
Yeah.
Like one of the
And
books,
that's one of those genre things.
yeah,
That's absolutely a genre because I had heard
Lady
that about.
Kaufman covers.
Yeah.
People call it the Leany verse. And I'm just like, holy shit. I have a Leany cover. I'm going to have 3. I'm very excited about this. But I think like choosing covers is really difficult. And I think also it's about thinking about who you want your audience to be. It's that manifestation thing again, right?
Yep.
It's not just who your audience are right now, it's about who you want them to be.
Yeah.
And thinking wider, like my Ellie covers, when I started, they all had little cute cuddly toys on them, which is brilliant for getting the attention of the little market. But then, like, I put one in one of the Zoe Bub, stuff your Kindle days, and it did fine, but it didn't do as well as it could have done. And I
Right.
recovered them all with like people on the covers, and the next time one came out, it went up much higher.
Yep. Manchest sells ebooks. It does.
I mean, I don't
It
have
just
much
does.
Manchester because ladies,
Well, right. But
but the
sorry.
say no, but this it's the same thing. Like actual people, I think
Right.
sometimes sell better than it depends on your market.
Yeah. You gotta look at your market and who's buying what, and sometimes you have to ignore what the, like, current trend is because the trend is not actually for you. Because
Yes.
like, uh, hetero romance, if especially if it's spicy, Manchester is gonna outperform every other kind of cover that you could put on there. But when you start talk for ebooks, but when you start talking paperbacks, books that people are actually gonna hold in their hands out in public, that's when the illustrated or the discrete covers start to pick up. And especially if you're trying to get a book into bookstores.
Yes.
Um,
Definitely. And I'm finding that at the moment is that people, like when I go to signings, people don't want the man titty on a cover.
Yep.
They want cute. I've got this is a anthology. I was just saying, look how pretty, like art, gay ladies and
Beautiful.
mermaids and all sorts. Sorry, shameless self promo.
No, I love it.
But the number of people who come up and buy them, and I found in the UK sometimes I don't sell a lot in some of the UK signings because it's such a small pool that you end up with a lot of the same authors. People come back every year. However, nerds are the way forward. I did a 2 hour. I had a stall at a 2 hour market in a at a board games festival down near me, and it's board gamers, mostly queer, definitely nerdy. I didn't cost me anything to take part in it. I made over £300 in 2 hours.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
And they
I
all came straight to the illustrated covers because they like
Yeah.
the art.
Yeah, and I've done Awesome Con, which is like one of the bigger, it's like Comic Con, but they call it Awesome Con, and it's not as comics focused. It's more just like nerd culture focused. And I've done a table there twice, and every time I do so oh, here with the man chest covers, and I'm like, I do need to start getting some of the cartoon covers here because I do think they would do even better.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm doing Comic Con this year down in Brighton,
nice.
like one of the smaller ones, but because also where I live is like queer central in the UK,
Right.
which is pretty nice. Speaking of things we're doing, we're both going to be at Dirty Daddy's Do Vegas in Vegas in March, which I'm so excited for. Literally, I'm braving 2 10-hour flights to get there and back. It's gonna be wild. And I
Bless
think
you.
we're both on panels, are we?
Yes, I believe I'm either on or running the diversity and inclusion panel. I think I'm on it.
I'm on it.
Um,
I'm on that one as well.
okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And then I am moderating I'm moderating the Littles panel.
Oh, I'm one of the littles on the littles panel.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, so we'll see each other at two different panels.
Yeah, so if you haven't got your tickets for that, if you search Dirty Daddies, it will come up for you.
Hey
I
Daddies do Vegas if you
Dirty
Google
Daddies do.
that.
Oh
The
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, Dirty Daddies do Vegas because why wouldn't they?
that's what we're
And,
doing.
and remember, not all daddies are male.
Yes.
Some are non-binary and some are ladies. Oh yeah.
Yep.
So I'm so looking forward to that. Be
Me
my
too.
second time ever in the States.
Oh,
I was just at
yay.
Smut Lovers in Florida.
Oh, yeah. That's on my list. I'll be there in 2026.
So good, so good. Um, we are coming to an end. Before we end, have you got any bleh, and an enemy? Have you got any book recommendations that you'd like to make?
Um, I mean, always depends on what people want to read. But one of my favorite ones that I like to plug a lot is the uh oh God, why did I just blank? It's Alana Andrews. First book is either Burn for You or Burn for Me. Hidden Legacies. It's the
Burn
Hidden
for
Legacies.
yeah, I have on my shit.
So
Oh, that series.
the Hidden Legacy series, and I have just discovered that I don't think enough people know about it. So
Really? Oh, I'm obsessed. I
yeah,
thoroughly would also recommend the audiobooks.
ooh, I've
Um,
heard that the audiobooks are
they're
fantastic.
very,
Yeah,
very good. And there are
yeah.
two narrators. There's one narrator for the first three, and then the second narrator for the second, because it's basically two trilogies with a novella
Oh, no,
in
yeah,
between them.
that's
Oh,
so cool.
I am
Yeah,
on a bit
those.
of an urban fantasy kick myself, actually, at the moment. I've just finished rereading the Amongst Our Weapons. Oh, it's a shiny cover. Ben
Ooh,
Aaronovitch. It's in the Rivers of London series, which
okay. I
I
don't think I've
believe
read
the
that.
first book is Midnight Riot. It's about a policeman. Mm. He's Sierra Leonean and Irish. So yeah, and he takes a statement from a ghost.
Oh,
Discovers that there's this whole other side of London, and it's called the Rivers of London because all the rivers have gods or goddess spirits attached to them.
oh, fun. That's fun.
And there's a like a romance storyline that goes along, and it's urban
Nice.
fantasy and it's fun and it's very British. Like Ben Aaronovitch knows London inside out. There are like moments where I'm like, I've walked down that very street and it does look like that.
I love it when that happens. Over the summer, I got to go to Detroit for the first time, and specifically to Belle Isle, which is heavily featured in one of my favorite cozy mystery series. And driving across the bridge, I was like, "Oh my God, it's exactly like I pictured it!" Like it was such a cool moment. Like I
That's
just love
so
it when
oh, I
authors
love
do
that.
that. Yeah.
And at the moment, you've just had your butt stuff anthology come out, butt stuff and everything and anything but.
Yeah. And
Um,
that is by technically both of my pen names, because Golden Angel is known for butt stuff, and but I don't normally just write erotica as Golden Angel, and Sinister Ange does write erotica. So we released it as both of it. We released it as Golden Angel writing as Sinister Ange. So it's actually the first time I've had a book with both of my pen names on it,
oh, that's
which is kind of cool.
exciting. And you've got a season for Christmas coming out soon.
Yes, couple more weeks. It's my third book in my Femdom Histrom series.
So
So
good.
the ladies are in charge. I think the dedication in this one, what did I put? It's for the ladies who prefer the man on his knees was the dedication.
Love.
So yeah, that comes out in a few weeks. And most recent release is under Sinistra Ange, and that was the Morally Gray Daddies anthology. And
Yeah.
that one has my contribution was Daddy's Bad Blood, which is a follow-up to a book I released earlier this year called Daddy's Mad Love. So book one was inspired Joker and Harley Quinn inspired 1920s forced marriage mafia romance. And this one is a Batman and Catwoman inspired forced marriage 1920s mafia romance.
So I guess I'm just waiting for your Wonder Woman post Mafia.
Well, now maybe one day. Next up, the one after that, I'm writing a third one, and well, actually, I do have a. I think I'm going to write two trilogies in this world. And the second trilogy, I do plan on having a woman daddy, so maybe that could be fun.
A woman daddy with with a little girl, maybe, maybe, maybe.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
it, do it, do it. Give me my suffix.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it is. It's I want it to be FF, so yeah.
okay, yes, please, please and thank you. That would be nice. I just had Lumi to the Deep re-release in ebook,
Mm.
which is really exciting, which is a sapphic mermaid short story that was originally in Pull at the Tide with Liban, the Irish mermaid goddess, and the mortal who she comes across on the beach. Which is really fun and has bondage with shells and ocean droplets, which is kind of fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. Um, that is nearly at the end of our time. Zoom is telling me I have 2 minutes and 46 seconds left. Um, this will not be the case next time I record. Dear God, I'm not used to having to curtail my speechifying. But this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so nice to chat with you.
So much fun. Thank you for chin wagging. And I will see and speak to you soon.
Yay,
Thank
awesome.
you.